Matikela, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about Judge Rat. Guys, there is something that the judge does, and he always think that we do not see him. Hey, sorry, something happened in court that most people missed, right? The judge is listening to everything that he does. He's right about that. But the real question is, when does he choose to act, and who does it help? Because at the same time, the state is relying on a cell phone tower evidence that listen carefully is not exact science. Okay, that is where the court battle just went nuclear. The judge who hears, but when does he step in? In the sense of Meyiwa trial, one thing is clear. Ratamu Khwatleng is not lost. He is attentive. He follows every witness. He understands the flow. But here is the problem. When the witness is strong and is strengthening the state, the judge clarifies, assists, asks questions, weakens this when the witness is weakening the state, suddenly there's interruption, redirection, or silence. And that creates a dangerous perception. Not that the judge perhaps is biased, but he is. He is biased. Yes, he is biased, but his interventions are not consistent. And in a criminal trial, perception is everything, because the defense doesn't need to prove bias. They only need to show the court is not even-handed. Do you understand? The credibility trap that backfired. So yesterday we saw classic prosecution tactic. Why do you remember this but not that? It's designed to suggest selective memory is equal to dishonest. But the Valeria witness did something very dangerous to the state case. She said, I don't rely on memory, I rely on records. Boom, boom. Because in policing, memory fades, documents don't. And what are most documents? What are those documents? SAPS 10, occurrence book, SAPS 14, cell register, SAPS 13, exhibits. So when those records are missing, incomplete, not produced, then the credibility attacks flips back onto the state. Not why don't you remember, but why don't the records exist? Now, the cell phone evidence just collapsed during the people. Now, let's talk about the part that people are completely misunderstanding. Cell phone tower evidence. The state wants us to believe phone connected to tower is equal to the person was there. Ramsipile dealt with that very nicely. But that's not how networks work. A phone connects based on signal strength, congestion, bandwidth, terrain, device behavior, not just distance, which means a phone can connect to a tower that is further away, but stronger or less congested. So tower data gives you possibility, not precision. Now combine that with this, no clear OB entry of the phone being found, no SEPS 22 proper seizure trail, contradictions from Valeria police station. And now ask yourself, are we even sure that this is the same phone? Are we even sure that this is the same phone? Because if the chain of custody is broken, then tower analysis becomes theory built on uncertainty. Now, the dangerous combination of it all. Now, put it all together, a judge who intervenes selectively, a state attacking memory while records are missing, cell phone evidence that is not exact science, a chain of custody that is under serious doubt. That is not just a weak point, that is a reasonable doubt explosion. And remember, under South African law, the state must prove its case beyond reasonable doubt, not maybe, not perhaps, not what if, beyond reasonable doubt. And at the stage, the state is struggling to do that so much that things are not looking bad. Sorry, are not looking good. Everything looks bad for their case. And Baloyi is sitting there knowingly, very, very well, that it's not looking good. It's not great. It's not going anywhere slowly or faster. The thing is, it is what it is. The Valeria State Police Station never received any phone. They never discovered any phone whatsoever. The situation is not a maybe, probably, or it looks like. It never happened. Baloyi knows it. They are forcing the issue, but they know the truth. Even the defense knows it. Even the judge sees it. He knows it. But because the state needs to be assisted, Judge Rata is going to force that issue. But even him forcing the issue is not helping anybody. Instead, it's making the entire situation worse. So here is the real question. If the judge hears everything but only intervenes at certain moments, and if the state relies on missing records, questionable phone evidence, and inconsistent foundations, then the issue is no longer just the accused. The issue is the integrity of the process itself. And once the process is in doubt, the entire case is at risk, and all of them know it. And the sad part about it for them is that Undanzi told them this, and now they are finding out everything on daytime. They are finding on streaming live, on a live streaming for everyone. And now they made it look like Undanzi is a liar. They made it look like Undanzi is not telling the truth. And now everything has come full circle, and it's not looking good for any of them, and it's not nice. What I like about all of this is that Ubongani Ndanzi has made sure that everything shifts. The energy, the drama, everything is shifted. If the cell phone towers are not exact and the phone itself is questionable, then what exactly is placing anyone at the scene? What exactly is that? And more importantly, do you think that the judge is being consistent with both sides, or there is a pattern there? Let's talk about that. The Senzo case is one troubled case altogether. But one thing for sure is that whatever happens in that case, Judge Rata is having problems and chest pains also. Even if he can act old, even if he can act whatever every day, the bottom line is that we see right through him. He knows what is going on there. He is trying to dribble the defense, and the defense is not allowing him. They are putting everything in record, and they are forcing him to face the reality as it is, not try to save the state, not try to do any shebang there. They are forcing him, and he has no choice. He has to do right by the case. He has to do right by the case. The law is the one that is also forcing him. Whether he likes it or not, we don't even care. At this point, Judge Rata Mokgoatlheng must do what is needed to be done, what is right, what is proper for the case. Whether he is happy with it or not, we don't care. Bottom line, do what is needed. So that is what is expected of him. I want us to also speak about his interventions that are not right. We also need to speak about that in another video, though, and be thorough about that. But we see every day and everything that he does in that courtroom. And that is why the system is going to judge him at the end. When he is done judging, he's going to be judged. Imagine if there is a situation whereby there is a commission and we get someone like Madlanga. Imagine that. We get someone like Madlanga who is smart, who is willing to listen and hear things. And the first person that they called is him. What did you do? They say, you know what, let's start with Judge Rata Mokgoatlheng. I'm sure he's going to act dumb there if he doesn't do justice when it comes to this case, because we are here, we are witness everything. Imagine having Sesi Baloyi saying, I hear what you are saying, but this is what happened, and this and this and this. Why would you force it to be a certain way, whereas it was this way? Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine him being told you are lying in his face, and he's very emotional as a judge, and he gets angry very fast, and no one is going to accept his anger there in a commission. Imagine this sitting commission of Madlanga, they start getting at the Senzo Meyiwa case, and they're like, come here, Judge Rata Mokgoatlheng. Come here. What's going to happen with his legacy? What's going to happen with him? What's going to happen to anything that has to do with him? How is that going to look like? Do you understand that? And yet he sits there and acts as if he's holier than thou and no one is above him, and he's the most dangerous judge, he's the most know-it-all person. That time, what we see and what is supposed to be a judge is not exactly the same thing. That is the kind of a judge he is in that courtroom. Anyway, guys, I just want to hear from you. What are your thoughts when it comes to all of this? Do you think Judge Rata is a fair judge? Do you think Judge Rata is doing right by the state by putting them in such a situation? Do you think perhaps one day he is going to surprise all of us? Do you think that all of us will be shocked when day of the verdict comes? He's gonna say, "I find them guilty," because the state from day one never brought any evidence that is linking them to the crime. What are your thoughts? I'll see you on our next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.